Hi, I'm Charles Nardi, the SVP and General Manager of the Vinyl Low Code business at Jitterbit. I'm here today in Waterbury, Vermont at Darn Tough Socks, one of our long-term customers over the last 5 years, with Tony Harris, the CIO, and we are spend some time today to talk about their experience with vinyl and our business together, and their experience of working with us the last 5 years. Nate Marshall will also be joining Chris Platica, our Chief Customer Officer, to talk about some of their development projects and applications in a little bit as well. Tony, so tell me, in manufacturing, especially in the shop floor, what are some of the main systems here at Darn Tough? What made you think about filling the gaps with a system like vinyl, low code, and how do you use that in your architecture? What are the kind of problems you're solving with vinyl around those systems, and kind of what's your strategy on how that all fits together? Could you explain that to us, please?
So, having a large ERP system that is complicated, that has multiple screens, many steps to just do basic data entry, it is tough when you want to have people that are on the floor making socks not become computer operators, right? We want to concentrate on making the socks and not being data entry people. So where vinyl has really come in and help us is kind of create that layer. Here's our big ERP system, super complicated, and with vinyl we've been able to create a layer for the end user that simplifies data entry, makes it easier, puts guides around how data can be entered, what data can be entered, and it just makes an easier user experience. And again, it keeps the machine operators making socks and not being computer operators.
You as a CIO, I think, and other CIOs, I want to hear from your perspective. For the last 5 years, where do you see the productivity improvements that you've been able to gain from a low-code platform? If you talk to other CIOs, would you recommend it? Do you think this is, kind of the future of application development? Is this something that other CIOs should look at? Is there really the benefits? Are you seeing the benefits that the claims are making to what the platform says?
Oh, absolutely. I've been in manufacturing for 31 years now. I've been both a user of software and a developer of software. So I've been on both sides of the monitor or keyboard, as it were. And just from a user experience, I can say, having worked on the shop floor and interacting with a lot of different, 4 different ERP systems over my career, the ability for us to kind of mold the interface with vinyl into that ERP system is phenomenal. Think about it as quality of life for a shop floor operator.
That's awesome. Yeah.
As a shop floor operator, I don't have to go through 10 screens and a bazillion fields to get data into the system. I can use the vinyl app that we've created, run through one screen, a couple of fields, and I'm entered my data in 30 seconds rather than 5 minutes.
Right.
So, there's a time component of, where do you best utilize your in our case, our shop floor operators.
Yeah.
We want to make in socks, not entering data.
Yep.
And then from the developer standpoint, the ability to quickly create apps, as well as, again, simple to really complex apps is beautiful. Yeah. I love that.
So talk about how vinyl empowers different groups inside of Darn Tough, right? So how has it empowered your IT organization? How has it empowered business users like on the shop floor? You've given different examples, but if you were just to summarize that, on kind of both sides of that equation, talk about that in your words.
Again, I've been on both sides of the coin here as a developer and a user, and the fact that our users and our developers work so closely together to develop in vinyl is part of our success.
Yeah.
And the on the one side, being a developer and being able to quickly and stand something up, make it functional, and then hand it off to the users to do user acceptance testing and feedback, and and give that feedback back to the developer. The developer can then go back, make tweaks. It's an iterative process.
Sure.
And I think it's definitely benefited both sides. As a developer, hey, I can come in, quickly create an app, and get it out to the floor. And as an end user, hey, I've got something that I can give feedback to. It's easy to use. It's intuitive.
Sure.
And that it makes the life cycle of apps and easy for sure. And it benefits really both sides of that coin there.
Definitely. So to put you on the spot, Tony, before vinyl, how much, how slow was that life cycle, and how much faster do you think it is now, and how much better do you think it is between IT and the business?
Right. So again, depending on the complexity of the app,
Totally.
it
Sure.
could be days to weeks to months
Okay.
pre-vinyl to get something out onto the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought the days, weeks, months down to hours and days.
Wow, that's awesome. And a better experience.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Again, for both the developer and the end user.
Yeah, that's great.
Hello, I'm Chris Plotica. I'm the Chief Customer Officer for the LCAP division of Jitterbit. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Nate Marshall from Darn Tough. Nate, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nate Marshall. I'm a manufacturing software engineer here at Darn Tough Vermont.
So Nate, I know you guys have been utilizing vinyl for about 5 years. How many applications do you guys have today?
So we have about 10 active apps here at Darn Tough using vinyl. Some of them are more major apps, really used a lot throughout our process, our manufacturing process, and others are smaller and kind of fill some specific business needs here and there. It's been a rapidly evolving platform that we've been using. Apps kind of come up as we need them. And so, yeah, about 10 plus or minus a couple over the years.
It sounds like you also are using vinyl to fill some of those gaps in your business process. Can you tell me a little bit more specifically about those 10 applications?
Yeah, so a lot of our apps really help make our manufacturing process a lot more efficient. Prior to vinyl, it was a lot of Excel-based spreadsheets that were helping track data, tracking manufacturing orders as they go through the process, as well as binders full of specs of all our different products. So all our SKUs, colors, styles, sizes were all kept in binders full of papers that we were able to manage, pulling into a database and creating a nice vinyl front end to help manage all those specs. Our biggest one is probably our manufacturing execution system. So this helps us track our manufacturing orders from start to finish as socks travel from knitting to finishing, packaging, and shipping. And that is integrated directly with our ERP so that we are constantly creating those transactional records with vinyl and then integrating that to our ERP and telling our business exactly what we've made and when we made it.
Well, Nate, that's absolutely amazing to hear. The fact that you guys were able to build an end-to-end manufacturing system and digitize all the spreadsheets, all the spec documents, and turn it into a database. Can you tell me about what type of impact that's had on your business?
So some of the biggest impacts that our apps have had already is creating a much more efficient process on the manufacturing floor. Previously, operators were interacting with our ERP system directly to report socks made, complete transaction, things like that. And the ERP system can be clunky and not intuitive for the operators. Data can get entered wrong, missed, all these things. So when you can create an app on top of that, you can put in guardrails. You can make a nice, easier interface for the operators to use. You can mold it around our own process and then do the integration in the back end that seamlessly transacts these orders up to our ERP. So that's had probably one of the biggest impacts on our manufacturing process so far.
So Nate, one of the items that you just mentioned was building those applications made it a little bit easier to train new users. Can you kind of talk about that end user experience for the folks on the shop floor?
Yeah, so the feedback we get from the plant floor is positive almost every time. I mean, we get to, like I said, mold the user experience to what makes sense to them, and it empowers whether it's an operator, a supervisor, or manager to give us feedback on what they want to see or what makes their experience better. They're the ones that live, the plant floor experience every single day. So their feedback is crucial because we don't want to just give them something that they don't like using. We want them to like using it and feel that they're making an impact every single day that they come to work. So that is probably one of the best things we can do for them is give them an easier experience that they truly enjoy.
So Nate, now that you have all these applications built, can you tell me a little bit how they all fit together in manufacturing?
Yeah, so originally most of our apps were kind of single purpose individual apps that fit a specific business need. Since then, they've really grown to be more integrated. For example, our manufacturing execution system app is kind of the central app that runs a lot of our manufacturing processes. And from there, we've integrated that with some of our other apps, such as our spec sheet app, which contains all of our specs, our SKU information. We can pull that information into MES when we're running MOs, manufacturing orders. Our shop floor audit app is where we track all of our quality data, right? So we can take that quality data and analyze it, see patterns and trends, and then that helps us make decisions about certain SKUs and how we're running them on the machines. And then our other app, sticker printer app, where we send data to our printers that then print and apply stickers to all of our packaging. That used to be a standalone app, but now we can send jobs from our manufacturing execution system app to the sticker printer app, and then those jobs get loaded onto the machines. So by integrating all of our apps, we've created a much more seamless process throughout our manufacturing system.
So Nate, I know you told me earlier Vinyl was your introductory into the world of low code. I just want to know, completely honestly, what's your thoughts about utilizing a tool like Vinyl, and can you see yourself utilizing it into the future?
As far as future projects or things that we work on a day-to-day basis, we can come up with an idea of something that is being done manually on the floor. Let's say it's a little piece of paper that operators fill out to record something that they did. Maybe it was a wrong yarn that was hung on a knitting machine, and they just keep track of that on pieces of paper. We can take that and very quickly throw that into an app, create a new app, find out where it fits in best, and start logging that data into databases and create a user interface for the operator to enter in that information. So having that flexibility has given us a lot of opportunities to make our process more efficient.
So how do you think about using Vinyl? Are they single apps? Are they more multi-complex, systems? Where do you kind of put Vinyl in that bucket of where you think it's best used at Darn Tough Socks?
Yeah, so again, the nice thing about Vinyl and being a low-code prototyping tool is you can create a single, very narrow niche app to fill a specific need, or you can create something much more complex. So, one of our systems that we've built, the MES or manufacturing execution systems, that started as a very specific small app.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to be able to scan our travelers.
Yeah.
We make socks in a X amount of batches, and we have a traveler that goes with that. We want to be able to scan that traveler, get that data into our ERP system very quickly, and Vinyl filled that niche.
Mm-hmm.
Now, over the last couple of years, we've added exponentially to the what that app can do. Now that app has grown to the point where it's really running our shop floor, as far as, it's recording quality issues, it's recording production issues, it's recording machines down, runtime, operation efficiencies. It's really grown into a much bigger app than originally we thought it would be. And that's another nice thing about vinyl, is that you've got a whole spectrum of what you can do with it. You can create a very small, narrow niche, or you can create something very complex, or everything in between.
You consider that MES considered like a mission critical system that's running in vinyl? Right?
Absolutely, for sure.
That's great. Good to know. Thanks. Tony, besides vinyl, the platform itself, what other aspects of what the team has been able to provide to Darn Tough has helped you be so successful with the tool, and your team be so successful with the tool? Talk about that experience for us to some degree.
Right. So the support crew behind the vinyl platform has been instrumental on our quick adoption of the platform, and really being able to maximize it. When we started with vinyl, it was a new tool to us. It was, there was a small learning curve.
Sure.
But so we relied heavily on the support crew from vinyl to kind of walk us through different things, and bounce questions off of. And the responsiveness has been awesome.
Great.
The support has been awesome. And really, when we started, it was, all right, you guys do 90% of it, and we'll do 10% of it. And over our relationship over the last 5 years, we've picked up so much, and the vinyl support crew has been so good at helping, not just building stuff for us, but walking us through the process and teaching us.
Yeah.
That's been huge.
Yeah.
So now it's flip-flop, where we're able to do 90% of the development confidently and quickly. And then, we still have that 10% that we can rely back on the vinyl tech support to, help us.
Good. And the consultants I know like working here, and you've had the same team for a while. So
yeah, that's been great.
There's a good relationship. Yeah, they enjoy it. All right, Tony, last question. So I'm obviously a fan of the company. I'm a fan of this. I wear the socks, right? I'm proven. I know you're a fan of our people and of the software, and we've had a good relationship over the years. Where do you see vinyl in the future plans of your IT organization going forward, and as part of Darn Tough's future?
Right, vinyl has become a really important toolbox, or tool in our toolbox in the IT world.
Wow.
Again, because of its flexibility from both the user end user and the developer standpoint. It allows us, again, to really quickly prototype something, see if it's going to work with our business, and if it doesn't, we can throw it away and start something new. If it does, we end up with things like our MES system, where it's integral to running our shop floor operations.
Yep, that's great. Well, we look forward to a continued relationship. Thanks for the time. I know we're going to have the luxury of seeing demo of some of the realistic applications we've done, and really getting the feel for what happens here at Darn Tough with vinyl. So we appreciate the time and the openness and sharing the experiences, and hopefully other people will be able to glean some of that positive experience that you've had with us, and take advantage of that in part of their journey down the road. So thanks.
Great, you're welcome.
All right, you're doing the best, Tony.